Not recording. Okay. All right. So if you'll tune in, look at the stream. We'll be going over the staff mentorship meeting notes. So let me see who's viewing. Is everyone viewing? Acid. You able to
Yeah.
find it? Okay. All right. So first, it's going to be respectful and professional. You as a staff member need to conduct yourself in a professional manner. That means being respectful toward players, even when they're trying to provoke you. It's straightforward and takes zero effort. Being a cunt just to be a cunt would result in removal. It costs nothing to be kind to one another. So let's say you're a staff member and some random trooper is just calling you a retard. That doesn't mean you have the right to call him a retard back. It's just pretty straightforward. Make sure you're just respectful and professional to all the players. You represent the server as staff. EC access to GM calls is used to help EC during events or passives. You should not be randomly joining and annoying people ruining the event. Running the event. This is the point of professionalism. If you're unable to restrain yourself to be respectful of the GM team, you won't be a staff member here. Be respectful of the GM team. So, essentially, don't just join the event voice just to annoy the GM team or to criticize the GM team while they're doing an event. That VC exists to for the GMs and staff who want to help to communicate with each other to properly run the event. So make sure if we are joining VC that we're there to help the GM team, not to put them down. Vague tickets. Tickets need to be handled in the sit room. Do not claim and close. Do not ignore the player. Do not host sit outside a sit room. If it reads admin, help, or something similar that doesn't describe what they need clearly, you bring them to the sit room to ask what the issue is. So, again, like it explains here, if it's a vague ticket, if it's like you don't know what's going on with the ticket, if it just says help or admin, you're always going to take it to the sit room. Or if it's during an event, you're going to take them to an isolated location during the event, somewhere far away from the event where they're not going to get shot or anyone's going to interrupt your sit. And then punishments. All punishments should be issued in the sit room before concluding the sit. The only people allowed to issue punishments outside the sit room are leadership/management. So let's say you pull someone in for RDM and you need to system warn them. Don't system warn them after you've already kicked them out of the sit room. You need to system warn them while they're in the sit room with you. So that's the notes. We're gonna move on to the Kahoot. So if y'all pull up Kahoot, the game pin on screen, it is 775428. So again, the game pin is 4775428. This should be on my screen. There you guys are. Let's start now. Alrighty. So when should you issue a punishment? Would you after you've spoken to the player, during the sit, before the sit, 2 hours after the sit? So it's going to be during the sit. So during the sit is when you're going to issue the punishment for the player. It's not going to be after you've spoken to the player, because after you've already spoken to the player, you've returned them. You want to do it during the sit. Who is allowed to issue punishments outside the sit? Senior admin, senior mod, admin, leadership/. Yep. Only leadership and management can issue punishments outside the room. You guys and anyone below, even my position as a lead admin, we need to do it in the sit room. So good job, both of you, for getting that right. What should you do when you see the ticket help? Take the ticket to the sit room, close the ticket, TP the player to the fight, or go to the player and see what's wrong. So what should you do when you see the ticket help? Yep, you're gonna take the ticket to the sit room. It's a vague ticket, you don't know what's going on. You're gonna speak to the player and find out what they need help with. So good job. For vague tickets in an event, where should you be hosting the sit during an event? At the player's location, far away from the group, away from the event, in an isolated location. Yep. So if you get a vague ticket during an event, or you host a sit during an event, it's always going to be far away from the group in an isolated location where your sit won't be interrupted. There is no sit room during events. So good job, both of you, for that one as well. When should you be joining the event voice channel? To hang out in comms, to help EC, criticize the GM's event, or to annoy the GM's. Yep, to help EC. You should only be joining the event voice channel to help the GM team EC, making sure the event runs by smoothly. What does it mean to EC as a staff member? To mess around and have fun, to make the event run the way you want it to run, to come in and kill your friends as a droid, to help the GM team with their events. Yep, we're here to help the GM team with their event. If you're trying to EC, we're not making this your own event. This is the GM team's event. They've orchestrated it the way it needs to go. You guys are just help. If you're joining in to help, you're helping them run their event. So good job. A player provokes you in a sit. What do? You yell at the player, help if needed, maintain professionalism, or ban them for disrespect. So there were two right answers. You can either maintain your professionalism, or you can call help from another staff member if needed. If you feel like it's too much for you and you're too angry at the situation, too upset, you can always call for help and staff to have another staff member come assist you. But good job. A player calls you a bad word outside of a sit. Maintain professionalism, don't entertain, clip from the battalion's commander, take them to the center room and yell at them because you're staff, call them a bad word back, or ban them for disrespect, COC up to Croatian. So what do you think? Yep. Maintain your professionalism, don't entertain it, clip it for the battalion's commander if it's something as simple as they just called you a retard. You know, that's not something you should fight back at them with and flashing your rank, essentially, by saying, hey, I'm staff. That would just be reaching for disrespect. Which is the correct ban format for a 101st who needs to be banned for mass rule break? So this is a one. Take your time. Make sure you're reading it properly. So which one of these was written correctly? Yep, this was the green one. And the reason being is because mass rule break, so that's the punishment, right? Hoopla, the name of the person banning the person. And then it's appeal space solargamingnetworks.com. When so especially for you, Acid, when you're coming to the day when you eventually can do this kind of stuff, it's always important writing it out. So just make sure you're writing it out perfectly. That way you don't get in trouble for not doing it the correct way. Acid, I wasn't expecting you to get that one right, but it's just something I like to put my last two questions with stuff I struggle on myself, because if I struggle with it, then you may also have problems. So how do you properly warn a player for RDM? Warn Steam ID RDM? I'm going to read them all out, but you guys can. What do you think is the correct way to warn someone for RDM? Yeah, so it's !warn, the player team ID, the reason being warned, and the staff member's name. So, good job. Alrighty. Do either of you two have any questions about what we just went over?
I think so.
No. Negative, I'm good. Being said, you two are free to go. And then
Sweet. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let you can stay behind just for a minute.
Okay, we're good to go.
Yeah, you're good to go, Acid. I'm just gonna stay behind for like just a second to talk to Let.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.